Hello and welcome to another episode of What Travis Says. My name is Travis and let's talk about Doctor Who. More specifically, the 2019 Doctor Who New Year's Day Special Resolution. Now, before we get into the video, I wanted to have a background for the new year. I'm working on it. It's something that's in progress. And also, I have decided to extend my Everyday Something Good project into the year 2019. So, if you're not following me on Instagram, you should go do that. If you are unfamiliar with my Everyday Something Good project, it's where I try to find something, just something little or something big, good in every single day. Every day, something good. Now, something interesting to note about the episode Resolution is that the Daleks being the villain was actually brought to Chris Chibnall's attention because of Jodie Whittaker. It was because of Jodie Whittaker that Chibnall decided to make the Daleks the villain. Because as we all know, Chris Chibnall had declared that there would be no classic or familiar villains this entire season 11 of Doctor Who. However, like we talked about last year, this New Year's special wasn't technically in season 11. Get it? Because last year, even though we talked about it a few weeks ago, because it was 28, never mind. The New Year's special and all previous specials are considered sort of standalone from the actual core seasons. So while shooting the regeneration scene in the episode Twice Upon a Time, where Peter Capaldi regenerates into Jodie Whittaker was wandering around the set and happened upon a Dalek. So she did what any doctor would do. She took a picture with the Dalek. She was holding her tea. She texted the picture to Chris Chibnall and said, "Me and my mate." And it was because of that image that Chris Chibnall decided to make the Daleks the villains in the New Year's special. So we had assumed that the Daleks were going to be the villains in Resolution for the past few weeks, but a Dalek villain does not a good Doctor Who special make. So how was Resolution as a Doctor Who special? Well, there was a lot riding on this special, with it being moved from Christmas to New Year's and opinions having been divided on season 11, to put it mildly. And before we get into talking about the special itself, I will say this. Resolution is the finale that we needed, that we deserved. But was it such a good episode because of the lackluster The Battle of Ranskoor of Kolos? Or was Resolution really that good as a New Year's special? Well, let's talk about it. The beginning of the special was ominous. There was a lot of exposition, as there is with many of the Doctor Who specials, setting up the scene, getting us up to speed, but what I liked about Resolution is that it didn't completely spoon-feed the viewer. We were still pretty in the dark about what exactly was going on. Some Doctor Who specials or even episodes will be like, alright, this is exactly what happened beat for beat, and here we are, and there we go. You know exactly what you're getting yourself into, you know exactly who the villains are, and you know exactly what is actually at stake. But with Resolution, even though we all assumed that the Daleks were going to be the main core villain, it still helped at building the narrative. And it turned out that the main villain of the special was one reconnaissance Dalek from the 9th century. But if you were wanting to watch this special because of the Daleks, if season 11 just didn't leave you happy and you were just tuning in to watch a massive Dalek fleet versus the Doctor, then it left a little bit to be desired. I mean, for more than half of the episode, we don't get to see the Dalek in its natural habitat, inside of its casing, armed to the tentacle with weapons. However, in my own opinion, this episode made the Daleks seem much creepier than it would have been inside of the casing. Physically controlling a host instead of just exterminating every single thing in its path. First off, let me just say that Lynn and Mitch are some of my favorite supporting characters this entire season. They are so likable and I enjoyed watching them on screen, and they made me feel for their well-being. I didn't want anything to happen to them. I just felt very invested in their safety as people while watching the episode. When Lynn left the burial site after Team TARDIS showed up and decided to investigate, she clearly wasn't feeling herself, and my first thought was that the Dalek had climbed inside of her throat and was controlling her from the inside, which is understandably more creepy than what actually happened. But if that were the case, then I doubt Lynn would have been able to survive the episode, which I'm glad it didn't happen that way. But the way that the Dalek was controlling her relay and motor neurons was just skin-crawlingly creepy. And the Dalek knew that using a human to get around was beneath that of a Dalek. All while forcing the host to be controlled, that disgusting attitude was heavily on display. And the one-on-one Dalek episodes have always been my favorite, like the 9th Doctor episode, Dalek, when it was reintroduced in the modern series. Even Rusty from Into the Dalek, which I would consider a one-on-one Dalek story, even though there was a Dalek fleet around them the entire time. We get to know the motives of one particular Dalek, and that is always interesting to me. But there was a point in the episode where I became worried, I guess, when Ryan's dad decided to just show up out of nowhere. From a storytelling standpoint, he showed up right when they were tracking this alien menace, and right as he showed up, I was like, really, Ryan's dad? Now is not the time. And at the beginning of the Ryan and Aaron scenes, I was just kinda meh, like I want to get back to the action, but the scenes actually did a pretty good job of building their relationship literally from the ground up, because there's a lot of damage there. And Graham is my favorite companion this go around, but to have him be pulled away in the Aaron-Ryan triangle thing was necessary, but the fact that he had to step away from most of the action the entire episode was just kind of disappointing. But we needed Graham to be a foil for Ryan's dad, someone who has been there as Ryan's family, beyond that of DNA or a name. And Ryan's dad definitely ended up being sympathetic. He was a deadbeat dad, but we end up feeling sorry for his situation. He knows that he messed up. He's being genuine in his shortcomings, and I do honestly believe that he wants to make up for things that have happened. Meanwhile, the Dalek is making a new casing, and holy TARDIS of Gallifrey, this is a Dalek. I actually felt in awe of the power of this Dalek when it was stopped on the road and ambushed by the military, and then the Dalek just swatted them away like they were nothing. And not just with a screech of exterminate and its gun stick. No, it had missiles, and when those things came out of the casing, I was like, oh, you're a Dalek. I really liked the look of this Dalek compared to the pristine, shiny, silvery, modern-ish Daleks. This was a 9th century Dalek that was revived in modern day with modern technology, modern weapons, modern information gathering, and it managed to work. Speaking of, there's a nice parallel between the Doctor creating her sonic screwdriver on Earth using mostly Earth materials, and the Dalek creating its metal casing in the final episode using Earth materials. Just a nice little parallel there. The sonic screwdriver jamming the laser signals of the Dalek's gun stick was kinda dumb. The Doctor just needed a way to safely investigate the Dalek's new duds and give the viewers a nice circular shot of what exactly it had created. But anymore, it's kind of a toss-up if the sonic screwdriver is a fun, useful tool or a story crutch. And in this specific case, the sonic screwdriver was a fantastical plot device so the Doctor could investigate this junkyard chic. However, in the scene before that, when the Doctor was showing off her serious tech skills, with a Z, where she managed to hold the Dalek with bio-tracking using holo projection, she is on point as the Doctor, whipping around the TARDIS, making demands, taking control of the situation, and promising to save the day. And there are moments where you can tell that the Doctor has this boiling rage. I think I'm rid of them, but I never am. Oh, the Doctor is in. UNIT was mentioned to have been shut down, and I've seen some criticism about that. Why bring up UNIT if you're just gonna make some scene about them not being a thing anymore? But then on the other side, if they wouldn't have brought up UNIT, then people would have been asking, well, why didn't the Doctor just call UNIT? Though I feel like UNIT helping would have been sort of a scapegoat ending, like calling UNIT to have them swing in and help save the day. The Kate Stewart reference was a nice touch though, bringing in more callbacks, and I am all for that. But this way, it's Doctor versus the Dalek. And any assistance that the Doctor did get was from her mates or Ryan's dad, who was just trying to make things right with his son. The Ryan's dad storyline had to happen at some point, and at least this way he helped in saving the day. And he also finds out about the travels that his son has been going on, which ties in nicely to what Graham said at the beginning, where he has no idea what Ryan has been through. The plan to kill the Dalek was kind of but the taking Aaron hostage at the very end of the episode was very unexpected, which leads to an emotional scene where Aaron and the Dalek are about to get flung out of the TARDIS, and Ryan forgives his father and saves his life. Gonna be honest, I thought for a minute that Aaron was going to sacrifice himself to save the day. Not that that would have been a better or worse ending, but it's just something that I thought that that's how he was going to get Ryan's forgiveness. But Ryan seems to want to work on the relationship. The Dr. Dalek face-to-face showdown happened with less than 17 minutes remaining in the episode, and I thought there was no way they're going to be able to tie this up nice and neat, but it worked. One thing that sets this special apart is that it earns our feelings instead of just casually asking for them. Too often does a story expect us to fear a villain or root for a hero or care about a side character that we just don't feel any connection to. Minor character dies? Meh, they're just a minor character. Doesn't really matter. But sometimes a story will force us to care about a character almost immediately. Remember in the Saranga Conundrum where we met Astos and he died like 10 minutes into the episode, but we were all invested in his well-being. And then he died. In Resolution, we don't have to have the story promise that Lynn and Mitch are good together. We can see through their interactions that they genuinely care about each other. We don't have to prematurely forgive Ryan's dad. He is actively trying to earn our trust. We don't have to just understand that the Daleks are an evil race of the most dangerous creatures in the entire universe. We can see that firsthand for ourselves by the things that they do, the horrible, awful things that they do. Seriously, this episode did wonders for the horror factor of the Daleks, at least the 9th century steampunk version of the Daleks, which I hope we get to see more of in the future. The modern version are just kind of but the old don't really know what's going on. Oh, wait, you're the doctor, hang on, let me check my database. Okay, I'm supposed to exterminate you. That's pretty creepy. So in the comments down below, let me know your thoughts on the 2019 Doctor Who New Year's special Resolution. Did you love it? Did you hate it? What did you love? And what were you just not really a fan of? But as always, my name is Travis. Thank you for listening to what I have to say, and you will see me soon.